for 32, almost 33 years. It's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The ball gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes
Zwack.
Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Get ready to rumble in the desert. We found our way to the first short track of the championship, and there's no place like this anywhere on the circuit. Live from the virtual Phoenix Raceway, it's the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series, presented by Racing Revolution. I'm your host and producer, Morgan Cook, and alongside me is our color commentator, Logan Thelkeld. No Mike in the booth tonight. He's having some ISP issues. So you're stuck with me and Logan tonight, and you're going to have to enjoy it, because we got a good one coming up here. Welcome you to Phoenix Raceway for round 4 of the regular season. It is the slurpsodas.com 165. For the duration of the event, drivers will have to manage their brakes, their tires, and their emotions for this 1 mile tri-oval. And there you go on the screen, slurpsodas.com logo. Last week in Las Vegas, heartbreak for Kyle Diaz. He led the most laps. Jeremy Burns grabbed a statement win in the closing laps. We had some new faces up at the front. Let's see if we can have some more parity tonight And now we're going to roll on to our points. There they are on the screen. Your new points leader after Las Vegas, Kevin Orlando Jr. with 105 points. Behind him, reigning Daytona 500 champion, not season champion, Robert Rader has told me numerous times, Trevor Erhardt. Jeremy Burns, last week's winner, locked into the playoffs, is third in points. Caleb Gilbert, Parker Johnston round out your top 5. Tay McDonald, up and down season to this point. Grant Turner, Michael Bennett, Jeff Israel Jr., and Daniel Holloway are your top 10 in points.
Starting out here in 11th, we have Grant Thorpe with 66 points. Behind him, Alex Forget. Michael Call was 63. Trevor Keith in 14th. Al Likens bringing him up behind at 15th with 60 points. John Fike, Ray Lane, Dustin Reinstedel, Matthew Robinson, and Nick Alves finish out your top 20. Now, Morgan, Phoenix is a flat and wide track. Can you walk us through some of the issues these drivers are going to be facing throughout this race today?
Well, the main issue with this racetrack, Logan, is that the ends aren't the same. And there's a dog leg. Very strange little place on this racetrack. You dive into turn 1. It's got a lot less banking than the other side of the racetrack at about 8 degrees. And you can run anywhere. You can run all the way down to the inside wall, off like way down the apron. You can run all the way up at the top on the blue wall up at the outside, and everywhere in between. It's all fair game, and it's all about the same speed around here, depending on what your car is doing. Then you go down a little short backstretch into turn 3, where you're going to glue it down to the bottom. Come off the corner to the start-finish line, and you can go all the way down to that apron if you want, off the dog leg. There is no out of bounds at this racetrack. Now we'll slide into our race analysis. See it up on the screen right there. We got 156 laps tonight. That is half of the full NASCAR distance, 312 for those of you who watched on Sunday. Pit road speed is 45 miles an hour. 5 sets laying in the pits, and they might just use all of them today. 2 green, white checker attempts, a stage break at lap 30. A caution after lap 25 would count as our stage break. And of course, the iRacing fixed setup. What are you expecting from tonight, Logan?
I'm expecting to see a lot of cars sliding around this track. Hot track temps will definitely wear down your tires more. Once you start getting to that point where those tires just can't hold onto the edge, I feel like we're going to see some action around this track today.
I would say action is absolutely correct. We are going to be sideways. We're going to have cars tight, probably hit some cars on the fence. It'll be a very interesting event here tonight. I am sure of it. Just about time to grid. We got about 3 seconds left. Just enough time to show you our poll winner for this evening. There's the poll graphic up on the screen. Coastal Financial Poll Award. As we go trackside for the grid, it's time for our Coastal Financial Poll Award. Our mission at Coastal Financial is to provide comprehensive financial planning solutions tailored to each individual's unique needs and goals, with the aim of empowering our clients to make informed decisions and achieve their financial potential. You can find us at coastalfinancial.com or on Facebook at Coastal Financial. And that driver tonight, Robert Rader, won the poll here tonight. Great lap in qualifying. We'll move into the rest of our grid here shortly. Starting outside Robert Rader tonight is last week's winner, Jeremy Burns in the 9. Tay McDonald's going to start right behind our pole sitter in 3rd, with Tyler Harrison in 4th. 5th will be James Loveland in the 0-2. Christian Bresnock in 6th place. 7th will be Ray Lane, beside Caleb Gilbert rounding out row 4. Row 5, Trevor Erhardt on the bottom, Logan Romney on the top.
In 11th, we got Trevor Keith. Next to him, Dustin Reinstedel. 13th, we have Jacob Sirkovich. Sorry about that. And 14th, Travis Gilbert. 15th, we got Justice Murphy. Alongside him, Kevin Orland Jr. 17th, Matt Robinson today. 18th, being Alex Forget. 19th, Nick Alves. Next to him, Jeffrey Israel Jr.
Jackson McGeorge is going to start 21st beside Michael A. Bennett in the 14. Daryl Johnson is going to start 23rd beside Nicholas Shell. That's row 12. Al Likens, deep starting spot for him tonight. He starts 25th. Peyton Presley in 26th. We got Chris Nail, Sam Taylor. We're going to go to racing here as we are about to take the green flag. 28th. And the rest of the grid will scroll by on the bottom of the screen. That is your grid for tonight. Maybe hit the right camera. There we go. There's cars on the racetrack. Looks like Robert Rader is going to lead lap 1 of 156 here, live from Phoenix.
Already starting to see a little bit of action. I saw a car there, and I believe that was turn 2 locking up the rear tires.
Yeah, these cars do not handle very well right now. We have a caution on the speedway. Christopher Schaefer, by chance. Is that a tire in the middle of the racetrack? Is that what I just saw there? We're going to have our first replay of the day. Well, they're already wrecking at that point in time. So here we go into turn number 3. Don't see anything quite yet. Oh, there's a wrecking behind him. The 21's around. Oh, the wrecking in front of him, too. That's the 48. Somebody lost their nose. Let's take a quick ride with the 48 and see if we can find this once and for all. He's loose. Another car wrecking. Not quite sure who that is, but we got a lot of cars having issues. That's the 14 up there, who's missing the nose and has a destroyed right front. Tough start to this race.
Morgan, looked like we had a couple cars up in the fence there, I think is where that front clip came from.
Right. Yeah, the 14 got in the wall. It looks like the middle of 3 and 4, or 1 and 2. This track's backwards. Apollo, I'm gonna do that all night. And yeah, lost the nose cone, and other cars trying to brake to avoid it. A lot of rear brake in these cars because they don't get into the corner terribly well. They're super tight. Don't want to steer when you apply the brake pedal, so you got to put some more rear brake into it to get it to rotate. And put in too much, it spins right around. All right, I missed the slurpsoda.com read. I apologize. We're going to get to that right now. Under caution, lap 4 of 156. This race brought to you by Slurp Soda, is located in Scottsdale, Arizona. Our truck roams the vibrant streets of the greater Phoenix area, adding a splash of flavor to your day. Discover us parked at local hotspots, from downtown corners to community events, serving up our signature lineup of refreshing sodas and invigorating energy drinks. For general information or to order catering, visit their website at slurpsodas.com. You can find them on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook at Slurp Sodas. Slurp Sodas, refreshingly different. Wish they had something like that up here. I'll tell you, could really go for a soda pop right about now. How about you, Logan?
Yeah, I think I could. That Slurp Soda doesn't sound too bad.
And make sure to check them out on their website. Lots of cool stuff. I was on there earlier today. If you're in that greater Phoenix area, definitely somebody worth checking out. Can't forget the rest of our sponsors either. You can see them in the bottom right corner and along the ticker on the bottom, like Buttkicker, all about bugs. We saw the commercials earlier. Obviously, Chapman Environmental Services, very important to what we do here in Racing Revolution. Ticker back on the screen, get an idea of where we're at as we are coming to the choose. You familiar with the choose rule, Logan?
I'm not. I was reading up on that earlier. Couldn't quite wrap my head around it.
All right, so what we do here is you can see there are drivers going on both sides of that yellow line. right where the start-finish line crosses the yellow line, that will determine which lane you want. Every driver in the field gets a choice, so long as you're not a lap down or under penalty, I might add. So in this case, Robert Rader takes the bottom, Tyler Harrison takes the top. And that allows you to get your preferred choice on the restart, and you can make hay with it if you're able to. As we begin the long, almost full pace lap these drivers have to do on their own without speeding to get a black flag, but that choose rule has been a recent change to NASCAR and to Racing Revolution, and it has certainly made the racing a lot more exciting. Here we come through 3 and 4. Flag in hand. We're going green again. Great launch by that 53.
Immediately took that high line away from McDonald there.
Big wad of cars back here. 3 wide, blinking in and out of existence. All the way down dogleg. Yeah, everyone's trying to avoid that 22 right now because they have no idea where he is, and he's coming to pit road. Too many connection issues to handle, and the 19's around. Oh, the 48's in it again. I think we can see this one happening live. Let's go back on board and have a look. Let's ride on board with the 48. See, gets a little free. He's already wrecking. Let's go back another little while here. So here he is following Alex down into turn number 1. See the blinking 22 car in front of them. And I think the 22 just goes down. Alex doesn't realize he's there, has to check up big time, and he gets loose, or he gets loose trying to avoid it and gets a little help from the 3. And luckily, that's pretty much all the contact we had in that situation, and everyone is able to make it through. Another look at it from a wider view. This ever happened to you, Logan?
Almost every race, Morgan.
For a service, and iRacing does a great job at this. For this service, though, there's always seems to be that one guy in every session who you just can't seem to avoid. It's a great job by stopping those guys in the back, not running into the 48. But there's always that one guy in every lobby who just has an internet connection issue, and you can't get away from them. And sometimes they'll pull it off the track like the 22 did there. That is absolutely the right move. Sometimes they will force it 3 wide at Talladega and wreck the whole field. You just kind of get what you get. It's like a lottery. And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Right on. Well, lap 10. Little race recap so far. We are under our second caution. Rader has led every lap to this point. And it's hot on this racetrack. I can understand why these drivers are slipping, sliding around. 110 degrees.
I wonder how that temperature is already affecting tires. Now, granted, we have had 2 caution laps already, but under green flag circumstances, I wonder how that car is reacting right now.
That's a great point. And what I would think, and again, I'm not behind the driver's seat, obviously I'm up here in the booth with you, Logan, is I think what they're feeling is loose on fire off. So you have cold tires on a hot track. They don't have that kind of grip to get you through the corner. So you saw the 19 just now obviously get very loose and spin with a slight checkup in the middle of the corner. So these cars are edgy, especially throttle off. So center of the corner off, as soon as you touch that accelerator pedal, they want to spin. And the hot temperature certainly will not be helping that. Back to the choose cone. Don't have a good shot of this. We're going to have one for next week, folks. There's Raider and McDonald taking the inside. Couple cars to the bottom here. Back in the field a little bit. There's a good shot. Dustin Reinstedel taking his number 11 to the bottom side. A little different paint scheme on the 11 this week at the Bear Nation colors. Sharp looking car. We're about halfway, almost, 2-hour stage break. One more lap of pacing here, live from virtual Phoenix. You tell me earlier that you put some laps on this track, Logan. What did you think of this facility?
I think it's a very grueling track. You know, it's short, but it feels much longer than just 1 mile. Got the dog leg up there at the start finish. It really throws a kink in things. And like you mentioned earlier, this 3/4 of a track almost pace lap without the pace car. How do you think that's going to come into effect on pitting? You think these guys are going to be able to control their speed?
I'd be more concerned about pacing than pitting personally, as the pit road speeds are pretty well defined here, but definitely pacing is going to be difficult, especially if you're farther back in the pack. Trying to catch up, maybe trying to, trying to not time it wrong where you get a black flag for going too fast under caution would be a concern. But looks like the leaders, Raider and Harrison, are doing a good job of keeping all the lines intact as they roll down the back stretch. Gonna go live here for our third restart. Another great launch by the 53. Got some cars in the fence. We got 3 of them in a row. Oh, the 7's around. Oh, geez. Oh, that's a bad one. Right in front of traffic. Terrific job, everyone avoiding him. That was beyond close.
That was some fantastic driving by the rest of the cars behind the 7 car.
Let's go back and watch. Here we are out of turn number 2. There's 3 wide, not what you want to be. 3's in the wall, and I don't think the 7 knew they were 3 wide, and all of a sudden across the nose of the 26 of the, I think that's the 32. Let's ride on board with the 26. That's Kyle Diaz. There he is, and that fantastic domino scheme. Makes me hungry. Let's ride on board. Here we are. You see some 3 wide in front of him. 7's creeping into the picture there. And wall, sandwich, spin. And then 7's coming down here, and everyone's thinking, oh no! 26 avoids it. 24 just about got a piece of the wall there. And we are back live.
Morgan, you've mentioned the paint schemes on these cars a couple times already. It amazes me how much time some of these guys will spend and how much pride they have in their paint scheme being handmade a lot of the times with these really in-depth racers. Do you yourself have anything that you've created?
I am not a paint creator. I leave that to V-Speed to make my paints for me. But I definitely I do have a really nice truck scheme for the Chevy Silverado that our own Bradley Cooper had made me a little while ago, and yeah, it's I enjoy repping, companies and brands that I'm familiar with, and a lot of these drivers feel exactly the same way. As you can see on these cars, we got Chapman Environmental Services on this Robert Raider machine in front of us, obviously title sponsor of this Racing Revolution Cup Series here. So, how about yourself? You a paint scheme creator?
Morgan, I unfortunately couldn't draw a straight line if I had a ruler. I have no artistic ability at all.
Yeah, not my jam either. I'm more of a button pusher, if you will. I think this is about time to follow on board with somebody on the restart. Let's see if I can find him here. I am looking for Grant Turner. And the reason I'm looking for Grant Turner, who is not having a particularly outstanding day back here in 21st, although he is up 12. Good for him. What I want to see is I want to see his feet. And I'll show you what I'm talking about, chat. We have a driver cam, but it's a foot cam. We can see his pedals, what he's doing throughout the run on both the brake and the throttle and the clutch. He's also got the clutch in there too. I'm curious to see what this 39 is going to do as we see him taking the choose here. It's a good shot of all the cars picking their lane. And kind of what you have to do here at Phoenix to be competitive and make your car do what you need to do. What do you think, Logan? Are you a maestro on the pedals? Your road racing background?
I've got a decent amount of action down there. You know, it's tough sometimes depending on what car you're driving, what track you're at, but for the most part, I get a pretty good restart.
Speaking of restart, here comes Robert Raider to the green flag. And there we go once again. Great start by this 39, and we're going to be doing some shifting here, a little clutch work, no heel toe. That's okay. Heavy on the brakes into turn number 1. Got to get this thing set up for a good exit. Just working the throttle. This is definitely the best shot we've had of what it takes to drive these cars all season. And I'm glad that Grant Turner has given us this opportunity to watch him at work. Thank him, and he'll be on here for a lot of short tracks later in the season. Let's get you caught up with some other drivers. Trevor Keith here in a little 5-way battle or so for the 14th position. Oh, big loose for Dustin Reinsettle off the corner. We unfortunately got a great... Oh, they're still wrecking. Oh, my goodness. That's a lot of cars taken up there. Oh, geez. Okay. Well, we saw where it started. That was Dustin Reinsettle loose off of the corner. I thought they were going to be tight here tonight. I was wrong. Let's go back and have a look here. Here we are coming out of turn 2 and just steps out into the wall, into the 15, into a bunch of other cars. We got cars wrecking all over this racetrack. The 3 almost got through it. Yeah, that was a lot of big hits for a lot of drivers here. Some drivers made it through this one, but... Oh, we're backing into cars as well. Oh, geez. Big issues for this field. But let's go on board. Let's see if we can see what happened here with the 11. So rolling through turn 1, downshift into 4th. And just a lot of throttle right here. Got free, couldn't save it, and then that contact in his door sends him around, and he's along for the ride at this point.
That's all it takes at a track like this, Morgan. 10 degrees of a difference, though, would make a huge difference. If it was 100 degrees track temperature instead of 110, I think that sticks all day.
Yeah, it's actually gotten hotter as this race has gone on. We're up to 113 and baking in this desert sun. The 11 is having trouble finding his pit stall, possibly. Right on board with Tay McDonald here. So 22 gets some laps back, but we are going to see that a lot, I feel like, off of turn 2. That's been a trouble spot to this point. It is just so free. The banking falls away quickly on that top lane, and it is not difficult at all to get yourself out of shape, and there's not a lot of space when you're running back in the teens. There's cars all over the place. They scrap and they claw for everything back there. So you get loose, there's going to be somebody trying to pounce, and it's pretty easy to get crossed up.
And although Phoenix is a very wide track, there's not that much room to move when you've got cars wrecking in front of you, especially when they stack up the way they just did there.
Yes, outside of Daytona, Talladega, Atlanta, I think the biggest crash I've ever seen happened right here. There was a crash, a restart on the front stretch, backstretch now, when this track was flipped 5 years ago or so. Actually, 7 years ago now, 2017, I think it was. They flipped this racetrack around. They would be coming to the green right now on the front stretch when it was right here. Somebody missed a shift, and between these two walls, everybody stacked up, and there were like 30 cars involved. It was unbelievable. Likely won't see that now with the start-finish line being all the way over here on the other side of the racetrack, but that side of the speedway, the backstretch currently, causes a lot of incidents for drivers. Watching drivers take the choose right now. Decent advantage of it. Obviously, the box, the commitment box, is down to the lower right of your screen, not in the shot. But you can see each driver make their choice, as you cannot run over that box without receiving a fairly hefty penalty. That penalty, if it's caught in race, is a end of the longest line. You'll restart at the tail end. If it's caught after the race, the level 1 penalty, potentially a points penalty. And if you win the race, such as Tay McDonald did in Daytona, he crossed the line first, but his win was stripped because of that penalty. So not something you want to do, cross over that commitment box. We don't see it very often, but it does happen sometimes. All right, we are doubled up once again. So look back at the field, the back bumper of Robert Rader. He's got a teammate right near him, and that's Gilbert, Caleb Gilbert, in that 54 machine. What do you say we do a bit of a crank it up style restart, Logan? What do you think about that?
I'm all for it, Morgan.
All right, so we'll give you, chat, we will give you about 2 laps of just these engines serenading. And then we'll get back to our regular commentary. Stay tuned, everyone. Unfortunately, we didn't make it 2 laps. We have some cars involved in an incident. You heard it off the side. If I could find the camera. Off the side, there's a whole bunch of them. So let's go back and have a look here. Loose out of 2 again for the 3. That's Romney. Diving down into turn 3. Our cars in the fence, they're big time wrecking up there. Is that Alex Forget, I think? Oh, right in the door. The 7's involved. I can't tell this up against the wall here. Is that the 39? That was Mr. Turner involved in that. Let's go back and have a replay of what happened to Grant Turner. There he is, right there. Oh, we got into the back of the 58. It was up the track and into 17 and the 39. And oh man, that's a tough break. All that is just a misjudging of braking distances. We can ride on the nose here and see exactly what happened. A good run off the corner for Grant Turner, 39. And I think Shell was reacting to that 88 car in front of him, and Turner didn't see him.
Very unfortunate timing on that checkup.
Yeah, tale as old as time, right? Someone does something 2 rows in front of you, driver ahead of you sees it, you don't, and you're all wadded up afterwards. It happens all the time. We have cars pitting, in fact. Oh, maybe this is a penalty possibly for the 15 because he is off the pace. So I'm not sure what happened to Robert Rader on that restart. He is back down to 4th. Hey, McDonald is your new leader. There he is right there. Now, something must have happened to the 53 while we were doing our Crank It Up segment there. Made him lose the lead as Tay McDonald, who started 3rd, has moved up 2 spots into the 1st position. Big move for the race so far. This is going to astound you. John Fike, 34 positions. I have no idea how you gained 34 spots in 30 laps and 3 cautions. 5 cautions. No idea. That's beyond impressive.
That is a combination of luck and skill here at Phoenix.
And John Fike's usually around at the end of these events, and I'm looking forward to seeing him, you know, when we get closer to that lap 130, 140, 150 number, see if he's up here still challenging for this win, as he is so often up near the front in these races. But let's see here. Tay McDonald is going to lead him to green this time. There is the 29 machine. While we have a second, Logan, anything exciting happening in chat right now?
I see a couple people in here active with us. Feel like Lima Bean here was maybe making some jokes about the foot cam for that earlier segment.
Sounds like Lima Bean to me. Right on. Good to hear. Good to have you back, Lima Bean. Appreciate you being here. We have established throughout the course of the season his favorite dirt track is Lima Land. That has been established. So, hey, do with that what you will, Logan. I'm not sure how much you race on dirt, actually. Are you a dirt guy?
I'm not a dirt guy. That is the one thing I can't get a hold of. I do run the rallycross stuff. Pretty okay with that, but turning left on dirt, it's hard.
Interestingly, I have yet to do a race in the rally stuff, the dirt road as they call it here on iRacing. I wouldn't say adept. I'm not great at the dirt oval stuff, but I do okay. I've got a handful of top 5s in league racing, and then a couple wins on the official side of things. But definitely more of a pavement person. Definitely more of a pavement oval person. Great start by Tay McDonald once again, as we are multiple cars wide all the way down to the apron. I think John Fike really likes that outside line.
Whenever he's moved as much as he has, I can't say I blame him.
Battle for the lead here. Robert Rader taking it to Tay McDonald. They are side by side. I think Rader led that lap, actually. He did lead that lap. Great little battle here for the lead, but it's not much of a battle anymore as Rader just goes and takes it back from Tay McDonald.
Rader did not like falling behind on that. He made sure to get a hold of that quick.
And he was the pole winner for a reason, remember. Set the fast lap in qualifying. He's led 26 of our 33 laps at this point. We got battles in the back of the field here. There's our look at last week's leader of the most laps. That was Kyle Diaz in front of him. Previous Daytona 500, Daytona 250, sorry, champion Trevor Erhardt, racing with the 00. That's Christian Bresnock and Tyler Harrison, who is a fan favorite here in the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series. So frustrating racing here, side by side. The 45 is going to clear for a moment. 00 is going to come back on his quarter panel. He's going to stick it in there, and he got it. He is going to stay on the quarter as the 45 pulls away off the corner. Good try by the 00. It's hard to get this car to stick sometimes when you're driving in so deep into turn number 1. 00's loose, big time loose off of turn 4. There's a bunch of spots there.
A lot of potential consequences here at Phoenix whenever you're trying to run as hard as you can against the guy ahead of you.
Definitely a tough place to pass, and you can lose a lot more than you can gain. So we got the 48, Parker Johnston, apologies. Make a pass on the 18. They get side by side off of 4. Oh, he's going to chop right up across the nose. Forget is going to follow him in there. These cars look like they're going really slow in the center of the corner. I can assure you they're not. They're still well over 100 miles an hour. Just this racetrack, you have to slow down so much in the center to get anything done. Right on the nose here. Oh, there's a caution out on the speedway. Coming too. I think that's Erhardt. It is the 41 who is sideways on the apron. There he is. Not the way you want to get airtime, but it works. Sponsor's happy, probably. Here's the 41 right in front of last week's winner, Jeremy Burns, coming out of turn 4, just gets free on him. And I think Burns maybe helped him a little bit. Right on with the 9 here, we'll be able to tell. See the 41 is trying to roll the top, get a lot of speed out of it, didn't throttle a little too fast, and Burns just said, oh, Burns didn't get him. Burns did not touch him. 48 and 41 lost it on his own, and the 9 just gets a spot just like that.
Luckily this time not collecting any other cars in that mix-up.
I think that is one of the first times tonight we have not had a multi-car incident. This being our 6th caution of the event. Already had our stage break. I actually don't even recall who the stage winner was. Apologies for that. I believe it was the Raider, I think. Could have also been McDonald. I dropped the ball on that one. Sorry, everyone. Raider leads currently. Drive by that illuminated cactus off the start-finish line. Led 34 of the 41 laps tonight. Started from pole. Looking like a good day for the 53. Behind him, we've got Tay McDonald, Ray Lane, Kevin Orlando Jr., the points leader, always finds his way up to the front. John Fike, Tyler Harrison, Jeremy Burns, James Loveland in the 02, E-Speed on the side of that machine, Christian Bresnock, and Justice Murphy in the 12. All about bugs all over that machine. That is your top 10 after 41 laps here at Virtual Phoenix.
Morgan, looking back at my stats here, if I am reading this correctly, I believe Tay McDonald took that stage.
All right, well, congratulations to Tay McDonald. That is not the first stage he's won this year. I don't have an exact number for you at the top of my head, but I don't have a stats guy here, unfortunately. Tay McDonald, your stage 1 winner. As we get set up for this last 110 laps or so, high above Phoenix International. Still pacing here. Get our ticker up on the screen so we can see who is where. Go ahead and find your favorite driver. Couple drivers not having a great evening. Dustin Reinsettle caused a caution here not terribly long ago, just loose off of 2. He got collected up with a bunch of other cars. He is currently the last car on the lead lap. That is the 11. There he is. Damage not too bad to that machine. Might have used a fast repair. They don't have fast repairs in this league. Never mind. That car looks pretty good, and a little bit of damage on the rear end, but on the door, you should be just fine. Up to the choose. Tay McDonald going to start behind Raider this time. Elect to choose the inside lane. And Ray Lane in his own lane on the outside. The 44 is going to restart on the front row for, I believe, the first time tonight. Let's ride on board on the nose of, or the roof rather, of Ray Lane for this restart. Should give you a good shot of what you have to face as the outside car when you're restarting. Huge disadvantage, especially here at Phoenix.
And with the way that Raider's been taken off the line on these restarts, I'm happy to see this angle here. I'd like to see what this gap looks like.
There's 1 length, and he goes down to the apron. That's 2 lengths. Comes back up 3. 3 car lengths. Snap of a finger. Ray Lane is under attack from Kevin Orlando Jr. and Tay McDonald. Is there 2 wide everywhere except for our leader? Tay McDonald got an awful launch out of 2. He's going to move back a number of positions here.
Morgan, I saw a quick glimpse of some lap traffic coming up ahead of these guys. How do you think that's going to come into effect here with the rest of the field coming up behind them?
That is a great question. The good news is if you're off the pace, it's not the hardest to get out of the way here because you do have the entire racetrack to go. There also, I think actually that car just pitted. There is a car a ways up ahead, but it'll take probably 20, 30 laps for them to get there. And we will cross that bridge when they do. Jeremy Burns here working the outside of, now the inside of the 45 at Harrison. He's got the 00 until we get cars loose in the back. That's the 19. Great save by him. He got just wicked loose out of turn 4. Great job saving that machine. He's going to take it on to the racetrack again, not on the pit road. Just got out of the way. You can run down there. That is a serviceable line all the way on the apron. I would not recommend it, but it's there for sure. So at this point in the race, Logan, we are coming up to 50 laps in, about the 1/3 mark. We have had a number of cautions, I think 6 now. We might be settled into a long green flag run. What's going through your head? What are you trying to do as a driver to set yourself up for the next event here?
Personally, I'm trying to save tires as much as I can. I'm a stickler on tire strategy. It's my favorite thing within this iRacing service. Win a lot of races just by playing your tires right. You know, obviously you have to stay competitive, stay close to the pack, but with the amount of cautions that we've seen, even after a long green flag run, it's inevitable here at Phoenix. We're going to see another caution. You'll have your chance to catch back up and do what you need to do from there.
I am right there with you. I love saving tires, and this is a pretty good track to do it. You can do a lot of things here. Enter high like a lot of these guys are doing. We're all running the same kind of lane, which is interesting. You can diamond this corner here in 1 and 2. Enter high, drive down to the middle, slide up to the top. Or you can do more of a traditional diamond and just make the straightaway as long as possible. Get the car rotated, let it do its thing. The apron, I believe this transition to the dogleg is hard on tires if you go below that yellow line. And then in 3 and 4, stick to the bottom, let it roll. Don't be too hard on any inputs, and you'll be able to save your stuff just fine.
I've noticed a lot of these drivers, as they get on some lap tires, they stop using that lower line. They're starting to move up a little bit. You see a lot less of dropping down below that yellow line, taking that kind of a shortcut. I say that and eat my words at the same time. But all in all, there's less drivers going below that yellow line right now.
And as those front tires wear, especially the right front, I mean, you're fighting a tight condition into the corner. You're fighting a loose condition out of the corner. It doesn't want to turn in. Then all of a sudden it wants to turn too much as soon as you apply throttle to it. And what you can do to mitigate the car not turning is enter higher. You don't need as much wheel. If you drive in way up here, like the 53 is, as he drives down kind of the middle of the racetrack. There he is right there. Middle of the racetrack, kind of diamonds it off the corner, make a long straightaway, and slowly eat away, sort of slowly gain, on Ray Lane behind you. And down here, sticking right to that yellow line, and don't worry about anything else. That's kind of how you drive here to save tires.
Whenever you've got an 0.8 of a second gap, what do you think the thought process is with this? Do you want to keep pushing for more gap, or do you want to save your tires? How would you go about that, Morgan?
I think this is a situation at this point in the race, 53 laps in, where you're testing how your other competitors are doing. We've had a lot of kind of herky-jerkiness here, a lot of start-stop. You don't know, no one's been in a rhythm yet, and you just want to find out if the drivers around you can manage tires, because if they can, you need to do that yourself. You need to really worry about what you're doing. This is a great battle here for the 19th position. If the other drivers can save their stuff, you're more concerned about saving your stuff. If they struggle with it, you can go out and set blistering lap times, because you know that they're not going to get you on the backside of the run. As Raider is slowly pulling away from Ray Lane and Orlando. Here is our three-way battle here. Position battle. Here we go. We got Raider up by about 9/10 and Orlando 4/10 back of Lane. There it is. We are catching lap traffic. I believe that is the 58 up there. Nicola Shell, sorry, no N. That car's got some pretty heavy damage on it.
Indeed it does. It's been wrapped up in, what, 2 wrecks now?
At least 2. He got turned down into that inside wall and back up across traffic. And it's about the worst thing you can have happen at a track like this. Martinsville, that also comes to mind, where you get hit both walls at the same time. Not ideal. Not ideal at all. Here we see Robert Raider leading lap number 50 out of 57. So the only laps Tay McDonald led were the ones enough to win the stage. Not going to be a clean sweep for this 53. There's Tay McDonald right there working on John Fike. Another thing you can do, this reminds me riding on board of the 29 here, to help save your tires, is back up the corner. You saw the 29 of McDonald do it, Fike did not, and Fike's going to lose that position and possibly one more to Harrison. Why don't you explain what backing up the corner means, Logan? May have lost Logan, not sure. Yeah, Logan has disconnected. Not sure what happened to him. Anyway, we are still riding on board here with Tay McDonald. As he looks behind him at a battle for 5th place. That's Harrison and Fike. Also included in that is Burns. This Fike is really struggling to handle this race car right now.
Apologize for that, Morgan. A little bit of technical difficulty on my end. Hopefully you have it sorted out by now.
All good. I was just going to say, how about you explain to these viewers, everyone watching at home, sitting comfy on their couch, what it means to back up the corner on a short track?
Well, honestly, Morgan, I don't do a whole lot of short track racing. I like to stick to the super speedways and speedways. I drive the car hard all the time. Really, to be honest, buddy, I couldn't tell you.
All right, well, I'll take a crack at this one then. To back up the corner, what you're trying to do is, we'll ride on board here with the 9 of Burns, is you just lift a little bit sooner, allows you to get to the throttle a little bit sooner. You're basically shifting all of your lifting points, braking points, throttle points back in the corner a little bit. What it does is it allows you to roll more, be a little easier on the tire, not just put so much wheel in it to get where you need to go. And it can definitely help you save a lot of tire if you do it properly.
That is a term that I am unfamiliar with. I guess I do that inadvertently.
Yeah, it's a common road racing thing as well, if I'm not mistaken. When you're out doing your thing and you get a little bit worn on the tires, you're going to want to get a big battle here. Car's 3 wide. You're going to want to lift a little bit earlier, save some stuff, maybe save a little bit of fuel. And is ringing a bell, Logan?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is a daily occurrence in road racing.
Something has happened to the 29 here. He's on pit road. I think it's pitting time. See if any more drivers choose to come down pit road here. Not at this moment. I could imagine, though, we are about a second off the pace from what we were running at the start of this race. So this could start a feeding frenzy. Ray Lane just came to pit road. That's the 44. There he is, right there. I imagine we'll see Robert Rader here in pretty soon. He's stretched out to a 2-second lead. Is he going to make that hard left turn? He is not. Keep it out of the racetrack. Looks like off the back of the 53 machine. Oh, he is wicked loose. Off of turn number 4. Second place right now is Kevin Orlando Jr., highest he's been all day. Started 16th. There's a reason he's the points leader, ladies and gentlemen. It's because he can move through the field. So we're closing in on halfway, about 10 or so laps from now. Got John Fike running in 3rd. Out to be Jeremy Burns here. Burns can complete the pass down into turn number 1. Door to door off the corner.
I must say, Morgan, I'm impressed by the 26 car of Diaz. He started out in 32nd, already moved his way up to 10th here.
And Diaz had a fantastic run last week. He really had that race in the bag until he pitted 2 laps too soon. The caution came out. He was trapped a lap down, ended up getting a lucky dog, but was relegated to, I believe, a 14th place finish, something like that. Led the most laps and was very fast last week at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
You mentioned a heartbreaking loss to Jeremy Burns in that race for Diaz. How do you feel about his chances here at Phoenix? Already moving up from 32nd to 10th. I'd say it's looking pretty good.
I will reserve judgment until after the pit stop cycle ends. I know we've had some drivers like Ray Lane we're riding on board with right now, who's pitted for tires already and is going to be working his way through the field here very quickly. I'm curious to see how good new tires are. He just got into the door of the 48. How did the 48 fare out of that? 48's around on the racetrack. There goes the pit cycle, and that might have just taken Ray Lane out of this race. He is not the first car one lap down, and he was involved in the incident, so he wouldn't get the free pass anyway. We saw it live. Let's go back and have a look at it. A little farther back, maybe. There we go. Just a little touch from the 44. Couldn't save it. And oh, big hit for the 98 and the 15. Oh, man. That is a tough break for those machines. And not the safest rejoin, but Parker Johnston got it back righted anyway. That is going to bring out the caution here, and that is going to throw a wrench in this race. Looks like Nicholas Schell possibly is going to get the lucky dog here. That's the 58, potentially. And I imagine we would see a lot of cars pitting here. There we go. Cars already coming to the pit lane. Whole field should be in here. Robert Rader's in. Let us see how the race off looks. Raiders going to win the race off pit road. Not sure why the camera panned to the restart zone, but that is okay. Here we are about halfway. This is going to basically cut this race in half. Our 7th caution of the evening, 4 lead changes, all between, I believe, all between Raider and Tay McDonald, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go through the field, starting with our leader. That is Robert Raider, who led 67 of the 74 laps this evening. Kevin Orlando Jr. is in 2nd, started 16th. Tyler Harrison, fan favorite, up to 3rd. Jeremy Burns back to P4. Caleb Gilbert is in 5th. Justice Murphy in the 12 is running 6th. James Loveland, been up here all day, running in 7th. Christian Bresnock, 8th. John Fike, we just saw him up at the front, had a bit of an issue, a loose condition on that car. He is back to P9. Kyle Diaz staying in 10th. Al Likens in a new look this week. That's why I couldn't find him on the track earlier. Gone is the red, white, and blue, and here is this, the GB22, maybe G822, can't quite tell, designs on that 40 car. Trevor Erhardt in the familiar 41. Jacob Servich in the 18. Daniel Holloway, Chris Nail. Dustin Reinstedt, who's rebounding nicely after that big accident on the backstretch. Dale Johnson, Christopher Schaefer, Jackson McGeorge, Chad Lancaster. That is your top 20. There are another 7 cars in the lead lap. How about you take us through them, Logan?
Yeah, certainly, Morgan. And 21st, we have Alex Forget. Oh, sorry, a little bit of an issue here. I'm showing Chad Lancaster now in 21st. Is this correct?
Yes, this is the choose just happened, so we have a little bit of movement on the field here.
Okay, I did not realize where we were at on the track. Apologize for that. 22nd, Trevor Keith. 23rd, Sam Taylor. Right behind him, Ray Lane in 24th. Tay McDonald back in 25th. Dylan Picklesheimer in 26th. Grant
So we
Turner
are
right behind Dylan.
Back going green here. I mistimed that one, everyone. Apologies. What happens when you try and get too fancy is you make mistakes. But here we are, not making any mistakes, is Robert Rader. Another great launch off the corner and hornet's nest behind him. Behind the Jeremy Burns machine, looking back at, oh, we got a caution on the speedway. Is that by chance? Idea where that was? I see Parker Johnson's off the pace. Oh, there's a nose cone in front of him. Oh, it's probably from the 42. Let's go back and have a look. It is from the 42. He got turned into the wall big time. I believe that was Robinson behind him. Let's see if we can get another shot at that. We are coming out of turn 2 once again. The trouble spot here tonight, just a little bit loose, and then maybe didn't get any help. I think he just got loose on his own. Right on board with the 1. And have another look at it. Stuck behind the 15. Gets a really good run off the corner. And yeah, the 42 just steps out and a little contact there, but 42 is already around in that situation. As now, we're pretty much halfway through this race, pretty close to it. There is the ticker on your screen and your biggest mover of the race, as customary at the halfway point. None other than, drum roll please, as I find the right camera, John Fike, 37th to 8th. It's a lot of spots gained.
He's having a great day here at Phoenix. Like you said, a lot of spots between 37th and 8th. He's done it in half a race. A lot of racers can't do that in a full race.
And if I remember correctly, he was up there. He gained 34 after 30, I think. He was really on a heater up at the front of the field. And he did a great job getting up here. Let's see if he can keep it up here. This 10 car. Let's see if we can ride on board with a driver up at the front of the field here for this restart. How about last week's winner? Actually, let's go with fan favorite Tyler Harrison. How's that sound? Ride on board with that 45 machine. There he is. We're coming to the choose. Once again, thanks to Adam Baker for having the paint scheme of the car in the graphic. That's just such a nice touch for chat. Being able to find out who is where. Have an idea what that car looks like. And we're going to lead from the outside lane here with the 45. Jeremy Burns right behind him. What do you expect on this restart, Logan?
Morgan, I'm unsure of this. We've seen more cautions on fresher tires than we have used tires this race. So it'll be very interesting. Hopefully they can all control that pedal, get a good restart here. Let's get back to some green flag racing.
Bring up our driver cam here. This is a look live at Tyler Harrison. As he restarts from P2 on the outside of Robert Rader. Here we go. Sliding back to 4th place here is Tyler Harrison. But you can see how focused he is. In that driver cam, just saw him on that wheel. Triple monitor setup working for him, and try and slot in front of this 02 here. Good run off the corner. Loveland will be alongside all the way down the front stretch. See if you can get him into turn number 1. They stay side by side. That is the best battle on the racetrack. John Fike is driving like a madman back there. He's moving forward. A little bit of a slide there into turn 3. He's moving back a little bit behind Bresnock. Look at your top 7, running all sorts of lines. Just saw a battle for second here. Orlando Jr. and Gilbert going at it. James Loveland in tow. Robert Rader leads. Caution out on the speedway once again. Oh, big wreck back here. Ray Lane involved. That car is toast. And not the scared toast kind. That thing has been burnt both sides. Let's have a look at it. Behind the 98 is the 44. 44 just gets loose on his own. Oh, he's up on his side. Oh, back across the racetrack. Rolling through the air. That might be a interesting onboard. What do you say? Gyro cam.
Let's take a look.
For the 44 here. Just a little free and bang. And up on his side and just up on his lid. You can hear the engines blown. Tires are pointed in the wrong directions. And he pitted early. I think he may be regretting that decision to pit early in that first stint. We had that long run. Set him back in the field a little bit, and obviously bit of a catastrophe for the 44 of Ray Lane, who has had a pretty tough start to this season. He's been involved in a lot of incidents, including one last week. Took him out early within the first 20 laps or so. He's now 2 laps down, sitting on pit road with no nose, 2 tires that look like a bird's feet, and that thing is destroyed.
It really looked like he had an early entrance there onto that apron, just unsettled the suspension of that next-gen car, and just came out from behind him.
We were talking to our leader earlier in this race about how aggressive the entry to the apron was through that dog leg, and he said if you don't hit it right, you're going to get loose. You got to be right, perfectly square, or it's going to get away from you. And that's exactly what happened to Ray Lane. He timed it wrong, and all of a sudden, around he goes. But speaking of leader, we're going to not ride on board. We're going to actually talk to him. We're going to have a chat with our leader, Robert Rader, who's led 80 of the 87 laps at this point. Robert Rader, Morgan and Logan up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Well, I think it's gone to plan so far. What do you think?
Hey, man, that's one way to put it. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. I mean, I'm always fast here. There's a reason why I have the championships, and they fall at this racetrack, right? So it's a good racetrack for me. But being sick and everything, not having an opportunity to put any laps in, kind of surprised we put it on the pole. And then with the way the race has fallen so far, it's been pretty easy to manage. I'm just a little afraid of where things can go from here, just depending on where the cautions fall, and tire and fuel strategy could get interesting because we're a little close on making that one stop from here. So, yeah, I mean, I can't complain, though. It's been great.
So you told us at the top of the show that the car was probably going to be tight, and you're going to have trouble, later in the run with the right front tire. Has that been the case so far?
It's been tight on the early go. Once you get about 20 laps on them, green flag in that long run that we had, I was getting pretty loose under throttle. had to dial that back a little bit and get control of the car. But yeah, we're getting a little loose on corner exit under throttle on the long run. In the short run, it's just plow city. So find the clean air for those guys behind me. Luckily, I don't have to worry about that.
Right on. And you're back in Element X Racing?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck on this restart.
Thank you.
That was race leader Robert Rader. For those of you who enjoy alliteration. Here we go. One more time. Lap 88 of 1:56. On the pedal, another great launch for the 53.
So consistent with that restart.
I will say the outside here is at a massive disadvantage. Here, more than about anywhere, that 27 got a fantastic launch through 1 and 2. That was unreal. The outside lane here, when they're on you're turning on the restart zone, and you have to keep the same speed. And iRacing, when it comes to the restarts, doesn't measure time over distance. They measure just your raw speed. So you have to be at that same speed as the leader who's taking the shorter distance. You're always going to be at a disadvantage. This place in Richmond are probably the two hardest to have a good restart as a second place car. A little farther back in the field here. E6 is Jeremy Burns, teammate 2-hour leader. You want to talk about a rebound? Let's look at the 19. Alex Forget. We even have a cam of him. There he is right there. He has gained a lot of spots since an incident early in this race, and he's driving it, wheeling it there. Cool thing about this hobby is you can do it right in your bedroom.
It's my favorite place to be, Morgan.
Yeah, if things don't go well, you can just go have a nap right after. But he's doing a great job. He's running P11, working on Likens for the 10th position. Focus in that young man's eyes. He's still going to dive it in there. Not quite getting to the back of the 40. We got big issues up here. That is Loveland. Loveland is sliding around here, and he's going to come back on the racetrack right in front of Alex. Keep it going in the right direction. Good save there for the 0-2. Back up at the front. Robert Rader still leads over Kevin Orlando, Caleb Gilbert, Tyler Harrison. Our top 4, Jeremy Burns quietly sneaking up to the 5th position, passing Justice Murphy. Trevor Erhardt, haven't talked about him a lot today. He is in P7. We just talked about Likens, Loveland, and Forget as they are still racing together for the 8th, 9th, and 10th position. So we are closing in on 100 laps, Logan. And we have had, once again, 9 cautions. Track's 110 degrees, 109 if you want to be exact about it. What are you expecting this last 60 or so laps? What do you think these drivers are feeling? How do you handle it?
Well, like Robert said in the interview there, it's going to be a close one whenever it comes to this last pit stop. These drivers won't be able to make it on the tires or the fuel, it sounds like. So one more pit stop. I'm going to have to hold my opinion on this until after we see that.
So from what I understand, we can go about 45 laps on fuel if we go completely green. Working back from the end of the race, that puts us at about lap 110 or so, we'll call it. Meaning they got about 15 laps to go. And then we might see a flurry of cars on pit road. Curious to see how that works out. Pit road entry here is not the most challenging, but it can be difficult to get that car low down.
And it's just such a long pit entrance. That's the one thing that bothers me about Phoenix is you feel like you're spending forever driving through that pit before you get to your stall, especially if you're in the number 1 or number 2 spot.
I would say this is probably the longest pit road. Comparative to how long the track is. Bristol, I guess, would be up there as well, and Martinsville, but short tracks really in general. But yeah, this is a very long pit road. It's the pace lap lasts 3/4 of the lap, and it feels like pit road does as well as you enter off of turn 2, unlike the normal off of turn 4. One of the reconfigurations of this racetrack happened, I think 2017, caused it to be that way when they flipped the ends of the racetrack. Robert Rader doesn't mind though. He doesn't care which end is which. He's fast at all of them. Here he is as your leader, leading lap 90, coming up lead up 93. Holy cow! I'm okay, not having a stroke. I'm fine. Back to the battle for second. Harrison applying all sorts of pressure to the back bumper of Gilbert. This is for the 3rd position, bottom step of the podium. First to be interviewed at the end of this race. Starting to see the groove widen out a little bit in turns 1 and 2, which is not unexpected. You talked about it earlier. Worn tires mean you want to move higher up the racetrack. That's exactly what these drivers are doing.
It's a smart thing to do at this point when you've got gaps like this between cars. You know, play it safe, save your tires as long as you can. That way you can put off that last pit stop.
Best battle on the racetrack right now is this one for 5 through 10. Bunch of cars under a blanket right here, led by Burns, tailed by Diaz. Any mistake by any of these drivers, we're riding on board with Trevor Erhardt, any mistake with any of them cause them to fall back through this little group here. Loveland had one of those mistakes earlier. Did a great job of avoiding any incident. Just got a little bit loose through the bus stop. Same thing happened to Ray Lane.
And 41 car too, when he got a little bit sideways. Great recovery by him. Didn't lose too many positions. Kept himself in the top 10.
Erhardt, if I'm not mistaken, is up 2 spots. E9, E7. Doing a great job here tonight. Just trying to keep in touch. And you can see all the leaders in front of him. Doing a good job keeping in touch. And we are only a couple laps away from potential pit stops. Battle for the 5th position. Burns has got it. Murphy wants it. Murphy's going to drive it down into the bottom of 1 and 2. They're still side by side. It's so frustrating being that 12 car on the bottom right now because all you want is to work up to the wall. He's going to get it here. I don't know if Burns maybe let him go. He's going to try and cross him over here. Going to get the run into 1. Oh, we got a car on the wall. Is that the 7? We stay green. That is the 7 car up in the fence up there. There he is. Long day here for Peyton Presley. Robert Rader stretched it out to a 1.3 second lead. Gilbert is keeping Orlando honest for second. They are 1.2 and 1.4 seconds back, respectively, as we got a car spun sideways. That's a 48. We see him on the bottom of your screen there. We stay green. He's rolling back up on the racing surface. Did Loveland have an issue? Looks like Loveland is back to the 15th position and falling. A lot of right front damage on that machine. Starting to get hard to handle out here.
Indeed it is, and we're coming really close to this point where pit stops might be happening.
Good battle here for the 10th position. Nail Fike Likens. See, Likens really aggressive on the brake pedal there. That car jumped down to the ground into the straightaway. He's going to try cross over Fike. Daryl Johnson creeping into the picture as Loveland continues to fall back. Caution's out on the speedway. Oh, I see him. That is the 43 who has had a less than ideal night. That's Picklesheimer. Car is backwards up against the fence, and this is either what everybody wanted or what nobody wanted, because I think you can make it to the end here, although it might be a little bit tight. Let's have a look and see what happened to the 43. He's loose on his own. Let's go back and see the beginning of this. Right on the gyro, all by himself into turn number 1. Trying to run the top side, got in the marbles, and couldn't quite save it. Snap back. Boom.
That snap snaring is deadly sometimes. He almost had that under control.
This is the car, I would say. This one, maybe the ARCA car, are the two that are the hardest to save the slide in the Oval Series. One little trick we talked about a little bit last week, where we got a lot of cars pitting here, is if you get sideways like that and you give a quick jab to the brake pedal, with the different brake system on this car, if you don't have too much rear brake in it, it can straighten you back out very quickly, which can be handy if you're in a slow speed slide like that one was. Too much wheel in it, if you go anything more than maybe neutral with the steering wheel, you'll probably end up working it back into the outside wall, which is exactly what happened to the 43 there. Raider is off pit road once again as the leader, not surprised there. 45 to go.
Morgan, we were talking earlier to some of the drivers about, gas strategy within this, fuel strategy. We were getting kind of mixed reviews about 40 to 45 laps. How do you think that's going to play out here? Do we think that they're going to get to the end? Do we think there's going to be one more pit stop here? Just for fuel, maybe?
I think we make it to the end. At this racetrack, with it being an off-throttle braking style racetrack, you can save a lot of fuel here just by lifting earlier, coasting it a little bit further through the center, and you should be able to save a decent amount of fuel here. So I think they'll be okay, because I think they're only like 1 or 2 laps maybe outside of our projection from the start of the show. I think they'll be fine. Now, the tires lasting 45 laps, that's another story. But another caution is going to for sure put them in a spot where they can make it to the end. What do you think, Logan?
I think a caution here will be critical. We're seeing a lot of cautions right off of the restart, within the first 2 or 3 laps. If that's the case here, it's going to be easy to save on the fuel. But like you said, it's going to come down to tires at the end of this race. 40 laps on this tire, on this track, nearly impossible to keep under control.
Well, we will find out. Find out for sure. I believe we're coming to the choose right here. Let's see. We're not coming to the choose. We're going to grab Jeremy Burns and have a chat with him. But not if we're only on 1 lap to go, as that would be unfair to him. And we are choosing, so that will be a next time around. Next time we have a coffee, we'll chat with Mr. Burns, who is a fuel strategy expert, as he showed last week at Las Vegas, as he would have had that race won in the last 30 laps, regardless if it went green. He had saved enough fuel. Played that one perfectly. He is running in the 6th position. As you can see on the left side of your screen, Raider, Harrison, Orlando, Murphy, Gilbert, Burns, Erhardt, Forget, Diaz, and Nail are your top 10. So we go down this long back straightaway one more time. Bring it to the attention of Barney, the flag man. He's going to send him off for 40 laps. Another great restart by the 53 car, and he's gone. He's well away in front of this field. As the battle behind him is for second place. Harrison and Murphy. How about Harrison and Orlando? Murphy in third.
Raider does not like being close to the pack on that restart. It is a dangerous place to be coming into that first corner in the braking zone. You never know if the person behind you is going to stop in time. You just make sure that doesn't happen.
I saw an issue for John Fike. Yeah, he is wrecking. 49's in it. Tay McDonald's in it. 18's in it. Oh, 42 against the wall. That guy cannot catch a break tonight. Goodness gracious. But this all started coming down to the apron as that Fike car is having issues. I think he's got a broken toe link. There we go. We're still wrecked here. Let's get the right time amount. There we go. This is turn 1 of the restart. You can see that 10 car, who was the biggest mover of the race, running behind the 26. Trying to get a good run down the banking here, and just got a little bit loose.
Same thing we saw earlier, Morgan.
Same thing with
Hit
Ray
that
Lane.
apron a little too hard.
Oh, the 40's in it. Big damage for Mr. Likens. Then the 49 and 18. But let's ride on with the 49 and let's see what he saw. From his nose here, let's see. So you can see John Fike is a car ahead of him on the bottom. And John Fike goes down to the bottom. He kind of disappears. You don't see him. Oh, did he get loose
He
on his
also
own?
got loose.
Okay. Well, that changes everything. I did not expect to see that. I think he just got caught on that apron and got a little bit sideways. Interesting stuff. I thought
I
that
wonder
the
if there's
10 came
any
up and hit him.
help from behind on that.
That could be. Let's go back another 15 seconds or so. It's not long enough. We'll come back green here shortly, folks. Or come back live, sorry, shortly, folks. But there's the 49, and yeah, that's all it is. He just got a little bit loose on the apron, and around it went.
That apron's been unforgiving today.
It sure has. Let's talk with our 6th place driver. That is Jeremy Burns. Jeremy Burns, Morgan and Logan up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, can you make it?
Yeah, actually, with this caution, we should be good to go to the end, but I don't know, man. We got to make it to the end first, right? Got to watch out for these guys. They're losing traction left and right.
Yeah, it looks really free out there. Obviously, you're doing a great job hanging in P6. Been up around the front all day. What's it going to take for you to get up there and challenge these guys?
We just have to have good track position, get good restarts. I'm not sure how many more green flag runs we're going to have here towards the end just because of how the race has gone. So being able to execute, whether it's here at the Choose, which we're coming up to, or just on the restart in general, just trying to gain as much ground as possible. But it'll be interesting to see. Either we're going to get a good string of cautions here, or we're going to go green for a little bit, and then it could really get spicy with some strategy. But, I mean, we'll see how it is. We can only react to what happens.
You're a fan of that spicy strategy, aren't you, based on last week's win in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I like strategy, but only when it plays out in my favor, right?
Isn't that the truth? All right, I'm going to drop you back up in Element X Racing, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
That was your 6th place driver, Mr. Jeremy Burns. All right.
You gotta wonder.
Go ahead, Logan.
I was gonna say, you gotta wonder just how confident he's feeling coming off that win from last week, being in 6th place right now, late in this race. He sounded pretty confident there.
I think he's confident. He's got a lot of cars with the same paint scheme around him. There's one leading the race, Robert Rader. There's one running 5th. That's Gilbert. And then he's got himself, all in that Chapman Environmental Services scheme. You can see it there, the 53, 54, and the 9, all with the same paint scheme. So he's got teammates. He's got friends up here. And I imagine that they will race each other fairly but hard if they can get around the 27, the 45, and the 12 to get up there and battle their teammate for this race win. About 35 laps to go here. When we come back to green, Robert Rader's going to lead them to the restart zone once again. And he's going to wait till deep in the zone and caught everyone sleeping a little bit. So we're on board with Gilbert. Driving into the back of the 27, trying to get him a little bit out of shape. Not going to work as 27 drives away off of his nose. Fan out all the way across this racetrack on the restarts. The 45 goes to the bottom. See the 41 cautions out again.
Did the apron claim another victim?
I believe the apron claimed another victim, and it might have been the 43 again. Saw him slow on the back. Let's have a look here. Replay time one more time. Oh, yep, that's exactly what it was. Hit the apron right in front of the 02 and just a single car spin. Luckily, nothing crazy there. Let's ride on board here. Let's see what how violent this is. Resnock in the 00. Going through 3 and 4 here. Pinned down to the bottom, trying to work on the 26. And around it goes. He had no chance to save that. It snapped. I saw the 18 up there getting spun around a little bit as well. Coming to pit road for the 00. Right in front of a modified in front of him, I believe that is that Taylor in the 42? Sam Taylor in the 42, that's right, yeah. And Likens also running the modified out here. That was last night, yesteryear. Tonight, we are Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series Racing on Racing Revolution, live on V-Speed. In case you forgot who was nattering in your ear for the last hour and a bit, I'm Morgan Cook. This is Logan Threlkeld. We're live on V-Speed. This is the slurpsoda.com 156. Slurp Soda from Scottsdale, Arizona, greater Phoenix area. Don't have a logo to show you right now. We'll get to that later. Ticker back on the screen. We're 1 lap from the choose. Raider continues to lead. Lap number 117. He is by far clinched most laps led today. Good for him. Sorry for the pole. Did not win the stage. That was, where is he here? Dave McDonald running P12, rebounding from an earlier getting trapped a lap down under caution. He led 5 laps, including the one that was the stage. That was lap 30. Good for the 29, who is, I believe, 3rd place in points right now. So it's good to see him have a good run here. He's had an interesting season. Obviously had the win taken away from him at Daytona, or else he would be the points leader without much question. Instead, he has to fight back through that 10-point penalty. So when we go back racing, we should have about 30 laps to go. Are you saving, thinking it's a long run, or are you just driving tongue out the whole time, trying to set a fast lap every lap? What are you doing, Logan?
At this point in the race, it's not too long ago that they got tires and fuel. I'm going all out for this. We're late in the game here. It's all or nothing at this point.
Well, let's ride on board with that 41 machine. He's restarting 8th or so, 7th, hard to say. That is Trevor Erhardt, the Daytona 500 champion, 250 champion. I say that every time. From last season. Driver cam, there it is. Look at that headrest. I wish. Driver info on the screen. Started 9th, up to 8th. Now let's watch that 53 walk away on the restart. Here we go. See just a pure focus this 41 driver has inside of Burns. We are 3 wide. Just about got into Burns there. Oh, we got Parker Johnson in the back spinning around. We stay green, it looks like. We do stay green. Oh, Erhardt's around. The apron claims another. And he is off the racetrack, so there will be no caution here. Tough break.
Kept it out of the wall.
Or this 41. Still under green. Was running in the top 10. He's back now, all the way back to 24th position. It's opening up for last week's winner, Burns. Cars in front of him and around him keep having issues. Tyler Harrison, not one of those, who's right on his outside. Battle right here. Harrison, Lando right in front of him, Burns right behind him, all separated by less than 0.2 of a second, as they are about a second behind the leader, Mr. Raider.
Morgan, I don't know if you noticed or not, but Gilbert stayed right with Raider up until turn 1 on that restart.
Well, that may be something to do with the same voice chat those teammates are in. A little secret shared, but those Element X guys moved up to the front. They are currently running 1, 2, and 4, and 27 is big loose in P3. He's going to get ganged up on by Jeremy Burns. Bit of a block there into turn 1. Burns all the way to the top side, going to try and point it down to the bottom, get a good run off.
Really close to those marbles up there at the top of the track.
If you do it right, there's a lot of speed up there. Not sure where Jeremy Burns led a lap, but he did grab one of them. This is your top 4. Separated by about the same distance. Back a little farther in the field. I think we got a car around. I think it's a 58. He's coming to pit road. Okay. Gaggle of cars here. This is 17th position. We're riding on board with Trevor Keith. He is now 18th. Working with the 84, that's Devin Hudgens. Who's up a ton of positions here. He's up 19 spots. That was the wrong button. This 84 car is. Great race for him so far. Bit of damage on that machine, but he's keeping it pointed in the right direction. That is the main thing here tonight. Pulls in on 20 laps to go. And Robert Raider is putting it on him.
Yeah, he's got himself.
Go ahead, Logan.
Go ahead, Morgan.
Coming to lead 127. There it is. Look high above this big conveyor belt in Phoenix. See the leaders at the top of your screen working the dog leg. Everyone's about single file here. Pretty good shot of what this race looks like from above in this blimp. We're going to ride on board here. Going to go back to the 11 car in 16th position. Remember, great recovery for this Dustin Reinstedel machine. He was caught up in one of those early incidents right there, actually, out of turn number 2. Loose on his own. So we have a battle here. This is 12th through about 18th, all fighting for position. The thing about this part of the field is they fight for every inch. There is no give up. The difference between running 16th and 21st may only be 5 spots, but it is a big, big deal.
Yes, it is, Morgan. I was just thinking that right before you said it. At this point where they're at in this field, it's either all or nothing. You know, you're going to get points either way, but you might as well go as hard as you can and get more.
More points, always better points. The only thing better than what I got is getting a little bit more. That's the mentality of a lot of race car drivers, and you have to be. That's how you go win championships, is by accumulating points, and Robert Rader is doing a phenomenal job of that today. Tay McDonald grabbed the stage. He got a lot of points as well, but this will help both those drivers in the championship. McDonald's up to P9 as well. A terrific recovery for that car as he was trapped a lap down in the 20s. Right around the stage break. Then we had a long run right after, and he caught a bit of an unlucky break with where that caution came out. Finds himself on speed and a little strategy up to P number 9. There's that 29 machine right there. Kevin Harvick-esque.
Not too long ago, McDonald was back in about 24th or 25th position. So to see him back up here in the top 10 is impressive.
Kevin Orlando Jr. under fire from Jeremy Burns, trying to make it a 1-2-3 for Element X Racing. Got about 17 laps to go here. From Phoenix, this is Racing Revolution's Chapman Environmental Cup Series. Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series, apologies. The wall is the 27. Opens the door for the 9. Trying to get right to the back bumper, maybe put a little air on it, maybe even, oh, good run here off of turn 2. This might be the move. Not quite. Defensive line by the 27, offensive line by the 9. Coming out of turn 4, we got a lap car up ahead. He's going to stay way to the outside. Right in the lap of Jeremy Burns right here. Could not have caught him in a worse spot. That's the 17 of Joe Goya. From Orlando on back. Looking back there, we've got a bumper full of Jeremy Burns all the way back to Tay McDonald in 9th. These cars are all separated by about 2 seconds, which is the gap from Orlando up to Rader. So this back half of the top 10 is keeping it close tabs on each other. As Rader continues to stretch out the lead over Caleb Gilbert, it is currently 1 second. This is what 1 second looks like. There it is on your screen. There's first and second place, those 2 Chapman Environmental Services cars. I've mentioned Element X Racing a number of times tonight. Their other driver, the 6th, Jeff Israel Jr., not having the best effort tonight. He is running 26th. Caught up in some incidents and just never really found the handle of this car tonight. He will be happy to leave Phoenix and go, I believe Bristol next week is where these guys are. He's up in the wall. He's running the very high line in 1 and 2, up in the marbles. 10 laps to go. This time by 4-hour leader Robert Rader. Led 139 of them tonight.
Robert's had himself a great day out here on the track, not losing too much off of his pace. Only about a half second right now off of what his qualifying time was. He's looking pretty good to finish out this race on these tires.
Yeah, he's done a very great job, really. Not much more I can say about it than that, of managing equipment, maintaining pace. He's only 7/10 off his best lap of the session, which I believe happened quite early in this race at 27.7. He's running 28.4s, and he is the fastest car on the racetrack by about a 10th per lap over teammate Caleb Gilbert. They matched lap times that time by. Gonna go by the 7, who's had a tough day today. That is Peyton Presley. 8 laps down. Battle still rages on for the for the 4th position, 3rd position. Jeremy Burns and Kevin Orlando Jr. Not sure, Logan, do you run with teammates when you race on iRacing?
I unfortunately don't have any teammates in my league. I would love to get into a league that has a team set up. It would be a lot of fun to just have that strategy between yourself and somebody else. You see that here tonight with our 53 or 54 and our 27 up here. Sorry.
The 9 car.
Burns is the third. Yes. Sorry.
Burns, who just moved into 3rd place. The reason I bring that up is I raced with a team called Orange Speed in the VSRL ranks, and this is very reminiscent of a race we had at Circuit of the Americas, where we finished in positions 1 through 6 on the grid that day. Great run.
Very impressive.
Great run by Element X Racing. They are showing that they own Phoenix, and for those of you who know the NASCAR schedule, you'll know that this is where the champion is decided. Not in 5 laps, but in about 20 weeks and 5 laps. You'll find out who the champion is, and it was Rader last year because of his prowess on this circuit. If Gilbert and Burns get there, it could be anyone's championship. Obviously, we are a long ways from crowning your season champion for the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series. But the Slurp Soda's 156 is almost coming to a close. We've got 5 laps to go as we watch this dominant performance by Robert Rader. Some other notable drives before we get down to our checkered flag. 21 positions gained for the 26 car, the Domino's machine of Kyle Diaz. 17 up is Chris Nail in that Avocados for Mexico scheme. Starting in the back was the 84 of Devin Hudgens. He is back up to the 20th position. Up 12 for Chad Lancaster. Pass up here, we got some issues for the 27. Remember, he was just running in 3rd. He's now back to P6. Tires have gone away, and he is under fire. From the 12, from the 45, the 19 is coming. 45 is loose on the outside. Let's right on board with the 19 here for a couple laps. The 27 cannot hang on the bottom of turn 3 and 4. Very loose, so is the 19.
Yeah, the 27 car was really pushing that thing, trying to keep up with Rader.
Oh, we're moving.
Ate up his tires.
Moved out of the way was the 27. We are coming to our Erhardt Homes white flag lap. Erhardt Homes, love where you live. I do it too soon. That's the final lap. There we go. And it's Robert Rader. Only got to complete one more lap. There he is. Coming through turn 2. It's been a dominant performance tonight. He's going to lead lap 150 when he crosses the line. Can't ask for much more than that. And your winner in Phoenix is Robert Rader. Style points.
Well, that's one way to celebrate it.
That's the only way to celebrate. Smoke those rear tires.
Yeah, play it off like you did it on purpose.
Didn't even do the cool down lap, just went right to it. That's how excited he is to win this race here, and this shows he is a strong force to win at Phoenix. In a number of weeks here, about 20 weeks away, I think we are from, maybe even more than that, maybe 30 weeks away or so from finding a champion, but it very well could be Robert Rader. Started on pole, led the most laps, finished, I believe, second in the stage, and found himself winning this race.
That was a dominating performance by Robert Rader today.
It sure was. Let's see if we can do some burnouts here. We got the three teammates, the three amigos, if you will, on the start-finish line. Maybe a simultaneous burnout, maybe just a picture. Hard to say, but great job by Robert Rader. They're going to do a try burnout for finishing 1, 2, 3 in this race. Look at that.
That is fun.
Love to see it. That's teamwork. There we go. Drone cam shot. Look at those three. Anyway, official results and posters of interviews with your top three coming up after a quick commercial break and a word from our sponsors. You're watching the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series live on V-Speed. More after this.
So Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. You know, it's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
All About Bugs Tennessee Pest and Termite Control is all about family too. Our family-owned business has successfully been in operation in Sevierville and surrounding areas for almost a decade. Especially during these times, a pest-free home is necessary for a sustainable, disease-free home or business. Our services include residential, rental, commercial, hotel, motel, cabins, you name it. Free quotes and inspections for new customers, and most of our services are contract-free. Our All About Bugs Tennessee family is devoted to delivering the best possible pest control service with a friendly smile. Contact us at 865-453-5574 today.
If it's bugging you, you should be bugging us.
We are back. Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series, Racing Revolution. Race just concluded from Phoenix, and here's how it went down. Robert Rader dominated this race, start to finish. Won the pole, led the most laps, won the race. Caleb Gilbert finished second behind him. Jeremy Burns completes the sweep of Element X Racing in the top 3. James Loveland rebounding from a slide middle of the race to finish in 4th. Harrison is going to finish 5th. Murphy 6th. Kevin Orlando Jr. ran up front all day. He is going to finish in 7th. Hey McDonald, yo-yo kind of day, finished in 8th. Alex Forget with his best finish of the season, up 9 spots into P9. And Chris Nail is going to finish 10th after gaining 17 positions.
Falling behind him in 11th, we have Kyle Diaz. Number 12 coming in with Christian Bresnock. 13th, Jackson McGeorge. 14th, Trevor Keith. 15th, Nick Alves. 16th, Jacob Sirkovich. 17th, Dustin Rhinestone. 19th, Chad Lancaster. And 20th, Nicholas Shell.
I have slightly different race results. That's interesting. I have Shell in 21st. Somewhere Erhardt got missed, but that's okay. Taylor, 22nd. Picklesheimer in 23rd. We got Johnson, involved in many incidents tonight, 24th. Israel, the other Element X driver, finished in 25th. Schaefer, Presley, Holloway, Likens, and Bennett are going to round out your top 30.
In the 31 position, we have. Apologize, my friends. Johnson in the 48. 32nd, we have Turner in the 39 car. Behind him, Robinson, Fike, and Lane. 36th position, Berger, Gaioa, Gilbert, and Romney to finish out this race.
That is your finishing order for tonight's slurpsodas.com 156. We're gonna catch up with our top 3 here right away. In 3rd place, Jeremy Burns in the 9. Let's go grab him here. Jeremy Burns, it is Morgan and Logan up in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you drove a great end to this race. Worked over the 27 car, made him burn up his stuff, and worked around him into 3rd place. You brought up the tail of this trio, teammates finishing 1, 2, 3. What was the communication like near the end of this race with those guys?
Well, as long as there wasn't a caution, it was pretty clear that Caleb and Rob were going to get there 1-2, and then really I was trying to get the podium sweep there, but I knew that I had to work over Kevin, and late there Loveland actually came on pretty strong, so we really just wanted to get that sweep on the podium, but working over Kevin was definitely no easy task, but just trying to set him up coming out of 4 there to where I could get up underneath of him. But overall, it was just a great execution by the team all day. Pitch strategy, everything was on par. And, Rob brings a lot to the table when it comes to Phoenix. So overall, as a team, we were really good today. Unfortunately, Jeff just keeps getting caught up and stuff. But other than that, the team did amazing today. You can't ask for much more. 1, 2, 3. And I believe all of us got stage points too. So that's really cool for the team.
Yeah, and the 3 of you are also all pretty high up in the point standings. This kind of day can only help for that. And speaking of points, I think you're aware we settle a championship here in some 30 odd weeks. So this kind of effort really proves well. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, and we're really looking to do what we did last year. We finished 1, 2, 3 in the standings a year ago, and I finished second in that trios. But overall, it just showed that we carried the speed. It was a little bit quicker, or a little bit hotter in practice, excuse me, and it was a little bit more slick. So I got a little worried, but fortunately, it was a little cooler come race time. So we had a really good car set up nice and steady there for the long run, and you saw where it paid off there. Once we got the small long runs that we got, few and far between, you could just tell that we started pulling away, and just overall that just shows how strong we were as a team here.
Yeah, you guys definitely have Phoenix figured out, and congratulations on the podium finish. Anyone you want to thank or shout out for this effort here tonight?
I gotta shout out my mom and dad, my girlfriend Josie, Dylan, Coach P, Sonny, my grandma Miss Betsy for their continued support. Julie, Derek, Caroline, Shannon, Belinda, Jessica, Alex, Carter, and Colton. and any other supporters of the league. I know I'll go back and watch the chat all the time, and there's so many supporters out there, not only for me but for the rest of the league. So shout out to them. Shout out to the team. Podium sweep. That's really difficult to do, especially in a field of 39 cars. So I gotta give them a huge shout out. Element X, Chapman Environmental Services for being on the hood. Got trio burnout with Chapman on the hood of all three of the cars. So that's a pretty cool little picture. And the other sponsor of the league, Buttkicker, Coast Financial, Ultimate Siding and Gutters, Erhardt Group, All About Bugs, V Speed, and Slurp Sodas. They do a lot over there, so definitely got to shout all them out. And you guys, obviously, over here, V Speed. And also want to shout out all the first responders. We still got Trevor Brown on the car, so it was really cool to get him on the podium, especially for the sacrifice that all the first responders give on a daily basis. So it truly is cool just to be able to honor him in such a way.
Yeah, great message from Jeremy Burns there. Congratulations on the third place finish. And we are going to pass it to your teammate, Caleb Gilbert.
All right, guys.
All right, let's get Gilbert up in the booth here. Logan is alongside our second place finisher.
Caleb, Logan and Morgan up here in the booth. You got a copy? Hey, buddy. Great finish today. Started in 8th, came in 2nd, right between two teammates. How confident did you feel being between those two guys and knowing how they drive and how they handle their car?
It was very comforting, especially there at the end, with the gaps at least. You know, a second and a half in front, second and a half out back, just kind of take it around. Leading up to that position, I was not comfortable at all. I kind of chalked this race and threw it away. Said, you know, I'll run in the back, and then came out, qualified somewhat well, and got an EOL on my own doing, driving through too many pit stalls, couldn't really see my sign. And then I drove through the field, and I was like, oh, whoa, we might have something. So that was for the third week in a row, P2 stinks, but you know, I'm pretty happy with that result at that racetrack.
As I'm sure your team is with all those points coming from those cars in the top 3. As you got into those longer stints of green flag racing, you know, using up those tires, how did that car feel once you started to get to that back end of those green flag laps?
If you took care of it pretty well, which I did on the first and the second somewhat long runs we had, it felt okay. You just, you know, patient on the throttle. Everything was good. That last run, I tend to go. I was like, I'm going to go for it. That was the first time all race I really pushed, to say the least, and I regretted it immediately. Right rear is getting cooked off, really loose out there, and I'm sure with a apron transition, there's a lot of things that happen off of that. So yeah, it was loose, but it drove well when you managed it.
Absolutely. Anybody you'd like to thank while you're here, Caleb?
All my teammates. Rob, congrats on the win. He's gonna come out and say, I had one practice lap and I won. So he gets to rub that in. He's unbelievable at Phoenix. It makes no sense. He's almost untouchable, I would say. Burns, me and him were kind of racing together all race. He ran a very, very clean race and then made it count at the end. Jeff, rough race, got collected in an accident once again. But my team, unbelievable. They always put in the work, communicate well, put us in the right spot. All our sponsors, Chapman Environmental, Coastal Financial, Buttkicker, everybody that goes into it, all the administrators, you guys up in the booth. It's been a good start to the year, and hopefully we can keep that going forward.
Fantastic job today, Caleb. Congrats on the second place finish, buddy.
Thank you, Logan.
All right, and we are going to talk with our winner, Robert Rader. Morgan and Logan up in the booth. Do you copy?
I got you.
Well, I'm not even sure we're in the same zip code anymore. You kind of drove away from everyone, the field, us, the hot dog stand, everything. You just packed up and drove away. Started first, fast lap in qualifying, won the Coastal Financial Pole Award, led 150 laps in this race, and won the thing. How many
Keep
practice
talking
laps
to
did
me.
you
I
have?
like what you're saying.
How many practice laps did you have?
About 7.
Oh, Gilbert said it was 1. He was waiting for you to say 1 lap,
my
and I won it.
My fast lap in practice was the first lap in practice, so we'll count that one.
Right on.
Man, I'll tell you what, man. This is such a cool racetrack, and I know everybody hates on Phoenix for being boring and stuff, and it definitely has its issues, but it's such a unique racetrack, and I love that it's unique. I grew up in Phoenix. I've spent a lot of time in a bunch of different games running Phoenix, and so I feel like that helps me out here a little bit, a little extra place in my heart for it. So it's pretty cool. And then, it's also a place I practiced a lot. As you come back and try to win championships, you always end up here. So I've spent a lot of practice time, maybe not this week, with a lot of stuff going on in life, but with other championships, and you go here twice, and it's like riding a bike. So we came in here. I was shocked we were so fast right off the bat. Put it on the pole was a major shock to me. I was kind of expecting to be around that 5th to 8th tonight and slowly dial it in and maybe have a shot at the end, but pleasantly surprised, to say the least, for sure.
And this is a much needed turnaround. You've had a bit of a tough start to this season, involved in a number of incidents that really were not of your doing at all. And to come out here and dominate at a place that you're going to run at for a championship in 20, 30 odd weeks, it just must feel good, especially to look in the mirror, if you could see them from that far ahead, and see your two teammates for Element X Racing in the Gilbert and Burns. Talk us through how that goes, being the head of the teammate group tonight.
Yeah, man, big shout out to the team. We've put some emphasis here. We've spent some time practicing, not again me this week, but Caleb has been traditionally pretty poor here. It's something that he's been working on, and he's really started to turn around. To see him be second on pace tonight was awesome. So it gives me some good confidence. And I was racing Burns for the championship here back in November, so I know he's going to be tough. Period. To see those guys have good performances tonight just lets me know that if I can't close it out at the end of the season, hopefully one of them can, and that's the ultimate goal, right? So, man, I'm so pumped up. I came in here with such low expectations, just wanting not to get wrecked. I mean, you mentioned all the wrecks. I got to have 14 wrecks on my resume that aren't my fault going into this, and we finally got to the real racetracks, and now we're seeing, who's actually good out here. So that's pretty cool.
Well, we go to about the realest racetrack on the schedule next week in Bristol. That place will humble you quick if you don't get your practice in. So I'd practice up this week if I were you, Mister Phoenix race winner Robert Rader. Anyone you
Yeah,
want to
good
thank?
call there, man. Yeah, Bristol's going to be a tough one, especially with about 40 guys that we're going to end up with there next week. Bristol's going to be tough, and it's going to require a little practice. But I almost expect it to be a cleaner race than what we saw today. We had a lot of cautions today. It's just a track that will kind of suck you into making a mistake. And Bristol's a little more predictable, even though it's a little shorter, a little higher speed. So we'll see what happens, but I love Bristol. It's such a fun racetrack to race at, so we'll see if we can't go back to back.
And you had mentioned earlier at the top of the show, actually, I don't know if that was hot mic'd or not, but you had talked about the apron here and how it was going to be treacherous for a lot of drivers, and you were right. I think that's where the majority of the cautions came from, were on old tires, guys trying to dive below the apron and getting loose on their own. So you called it there, but out from the driver's seat in the lead, you did a great job. Who do you want to thank for this effort here tonight?
First of all, huge shout out to Chapman Environmental Services. I haven't had an opportunity to shout them out this season yet. So we'll get that out of the way first and foremost. They sponsor me, they sponsor the league, they sponsor the entire team. I mean, they do a ton for us. So huge shout out to Chapman Environmental Services. You're up there in the Northeast, need a little bit of that, who to call. And then just other than that, just generally all the normal league sponsors. You got Erhardt Homes, you have Coastal Financial, you have Slurp Sodas on the race tonight. Huge shout out to those guys. Actually, I want to take an extra moment just to say huge shout out to Slurp Sodas. They're super cool. I know they're trying to figure out a way to have something online that people can interact with if you're not there in Phoenix, in Phoenix, Arizona, but it's kind of the home track for them, so they wanted to get on this one. And Michael Bennett's an awesome guy, so any way we can support them, I know it's coming soon, we'll make sure we can do it for them. And there's countless others, but just got to shout the team, Caleb, Jeremy, and Jeff. You know, these guys are awesome. Shout out to you guys over at V-Speed for what I assume is a great broadcast as always. And yeah, man, we're rocking and rolling. Shout out to my family. You know, it's been a minute, so you know they get to see me in a good mood for the first time in 2 weeks. Maybe sounds good.
Right on. Well, congratulations on what was a absolutely dominant effort here tonight at the virtual Phoenix Raceway. 150 laps led, started on pole, won the race, and big momentum heading into Bristol. Congratulations, Robert.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
You bet.
Congrats, Robert. Great race today, buddy.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for our interviews this evening. Do a quick little race recap here. 12 cautions, 4 lead changes between Tay McDonald and Robert Rader. That was the only drivers who led this race tonight. And what did you think, Logan, of your first full broadcast here on V-Speed?
I had a fantastic time, Morgan. Working with you is great. These drivers in here really showed what they're made of. Phoenix is a tough track, man. These guys held it down. I did not think that there was only going to be 12 cautions today. I was expecting more. So to see it here at Phoenix perform the way they did, I'm excited to see them race at Bristol.
Well, this was the Slurp Sodas 156 here from Phoenix. Let's have a look ahead at our next race on the schedule. It's in Bristol 1 week from today, March 20th. Little half mile high banked oval down there, the world's fastest half mile. And hope to see you next week. Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series goes to Bristol for the 5th event of the season, Half Mile Speedway in Thunder Valley on the Tennessee side of the Virginia-Tennessee border. Live March 20th at 8:30 Eastern on V-Speed as we bring you flag-to-flag coverage all season long. If you enjoyed tonight's race, don't forget to like and subscribe to V-Speed. You'll never miss a single race. We have more content throughout the week. And if you're wanting more tonight, the Oil Overtake iRacing League is currently running live at a Cup Series. Bradley Cooper's got that one on tap right now. But for everyone here at V-Speed, Adam Baker, Eddie Smith, Bradley Cooper, our color commentator for the night, Logan Threlkeld, this is Morgan Cook saying so long from Phoenix, and we'll see you next week.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
Cabot.
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes Zwack.